Yes, we are live here in Vanille. I'm joined by
Emmanuel Kadila.
Manu Gaman. Nice to meet you, sir. We just wanted to find out what motivated you to come out today to vote.
Now, it's my civic responsibility to vote. It's everybody's responsibility to vote to ensure that you vote the right people to deliver the services. It's everybody's responsibility, and so I actually encourage everybody to go out there and cast their vote to ensure that we take part in the process of making decisions in terms of service deliveries and the leadership in the next 5 years.
Now, can you please tell us how is the atmosphere here by the by Vanille, especially here by the station? Now, how would you describe the atmosphere to us?
I think the atmosphere is quite calm, despite the long queues. You can see people are not giving up. I haven't seen many people leaving the queues and giving up and saying no, you're not going to vote anymore. You can see people are very persistent, and some of them have been here since early in the mornings. But despite it, everybody is calm. There's no violence, no quarreling, no nothing. People are just looking forward going into the voting booth.
Wow. But tell us then, how would you describe um, the 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 voting process? Is it easier this year? Is it accessible? You know?
I think it's fairly easier. We can do better. I mean, given the era we are in of technological advancement, I think we can do better. It takes on average 5 minutes, well, between 3 and 5 minutes to be just inside there, because there's a lot of manual writing that process. But I think we could do better. So um, maybe in the next after 5 years, we can probably think of reducing the 3 minutes to just under 1 minute. I think we can do better if we reduce it to just under 1 minute. I think a lot of people we are seeing here in the queue, they could have gone to their houses already. But so far so good. I think everybody will get a chance to cast their votes, although it's a bit slow. Yeah.
I know. I wish you all the best with the voting process. I believe that you're close to the line.
No. I'm done already.
You're done already.
I voted already.
Wow. I'm happy for you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy for you, sir.
I came here early in the mornings, so
Wow.
I'm done already.
Wow. Wow. So you have heard it there from a very proud Namibian voter. Please, if you haven't voted, please make your way to Vanille. It is the place where we need to definitely, as Namibians, come together and vote for our next president. From Marshall, please stay with me. Thank you.
Election overview.
We are live here in Vanille, joined by
Maria Nelenge.
Maria. Maria, tell us what motivated you to come out and basically vote for today.
Okay, I don't have really a motivation, but then I've been a voter for a while now, but I never voted. So this is actually my first time. So I hope for change, and that's why I'm ready here to vote, to cast out that vote that, I need change.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so if you're the first, if you've been a voter and if this was the first time actually voting, how would you describe the atmosphere, especially here in Vanille?
Okay, so I'm from Ombili, but then the queues, the hotness, people are standing in the sun, so it forced me to come here. So at least here it's not that hot. Those people were really squeezing in here and there. Yeah, the atmosphere, though it's slow, really slow. We came here at 9, but we are still standing here, but we want to vote, so we are willing to stand. For me, I'm willing to stand. No matter what time I will vote, I will stand here and vote.
Wow. Wow, I like the energy. I like the energy and the confidence in it. But then, how would you describe it? Is the feeling? Is it easy or is it accessible to for you to vote, especially here, because then where you were?
No, it's not easy, so to say. You cannot say it's easy. How can I say? But the thing is, like, it's not easy. The fact stands that it's not easy, though the queues are unbearable. And the situation at home, it's really sunny and hot, and the queues are long. So everywhere, looking at the social medias, the queues are everywhere. But then, like, coming here, though it's not easy, I would say it's bearable to stand in this queue because it's not hot. Though the queues are slow, but yeah, it's bearable.
Wow, you heard it from our sister here. Please, yeah. What is the final words or the last words you would want to tell us?
My final words, it's like, guys, though the queues are long, let's go vote. We really need change. So I'm not saying vote for who. That's your own voice, as long as your vote counts. And one thing that I'm so impressed, seeing the youth in queues and all over social media is something impressive and really inspiring that, yeah, we are there. We really need the change. So 2024, it's a year of change.
Wow. Wow, you heard it from our brother, from our sister. Please, viewers, go out and vote. Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope.
Thank you so much, Marshall, for bringing us that report. As you can see, the voter turnout is high. 90% of eligible voters have managed to register to vote in this year's election. So you see, the turnout is high. All the polling stations, the queues are endless. But to get into the political aspect of that and the impact it might have on the election, we're now joined on the line by Dr. Ndumba Kamwanya. He's a political analyst. Dr. Kamwanya, a very good evening to you, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening, and thank you for inviting me, and good evening to your listeners and viewers.
Thank you for joining us once again. I'd like to find out, have you managed to cast your vote? Have you voted, and if so, in which area?
Yes, I did perform my civic duty to vote early this morning. I voted at the University of Namibia campus. Everything went very well and smooth. There was a very, very long line, but I think the ECN or the polling officers did a good job and they managed it.
All right, fantastic to hear, because from all over and across the country, we're hearing reports of endless lines, some of the mobile stations being shut down before people have had their chance to exercise their civic right and democratic chance to speak up. What's your take on the preparedness from the Electoral Commission of Namibia's side, the readiness? Do you believe they anticipated this high voter turnout?
They had a registration figure, which was, I think, 1.4 million. So I'm sure that probably all their preparations were based on that figure. But of course, you can have a registration figure, but not everybody will show up. So from the polling station where I voted, it seems that they were prepared for a huge turnout, but of course I don't know what happened in other polling stations. I guess we will soon find out after the polls close.
All right, let's switch gears to how the political parties, the various political parties, marketed their agenda, their policies through their manifestos this time around. Do you believe that most of it was more rhetoric or actually achievable?
Well, politics is politics. Of course, there were a lot of promises that were made, Some, one could say that they are achievable, but others, for the most part, were unrealistic. But in terms of reaching out to voters, it depends on the strategy a political party took, and also it depends on the resources at your disposal. So we have seen established political party, more in particular like the ruling party, because it has a lot of resources, that they opted for a rally approach where they gathered a lot of people and bring them in one place to reach them. But we also seen a smaller party, more in particular like the new ones like AR, that they opted for door to door, because mainly they don't have a lot of resources, and it limited them to reach a lot of voters, more in particular in the rural areas and the deep inlands. In terms of the manifestos, and I think all political parties did not really do a good job to make sure that they release their manifesto in good time so that the voters can get themselves informed. We saw a very delayed process of manifesto that were released almost for all the parties, and that is not good. Maybe that's a lesson for next year's election or future elections, to make sure that the manifesto are made available so that the voters can access them so that they can make informed decision. But I will say that on this measurement, all political parties failed.
All right, Dr. Kamanya, I would also like to find out, we've already had the special vote elections abroad at diplomatic missions and also for those in safety and security. And what I've seen is that the official opposition hadn't made the top three in some of those results that were sort of unveiled to the public, not officially. What can we deduce from that?
Remember, the special elections is mainly for the people that are at diplomaticians, and many of them, they are government officials, and of course with some of the students that are studying abroad, or some people that are working abroad in international missions, and of course with the defense force and the police and the security strata people. I will not draw a conclusion that it will determine the direction where the general election the outcomes will go. I don't think we should not read too much, because those are very people that are usually and historically tend to vote for the ruling party.
All right, let's switch gears. Aside from speculation and what to expect, we haven't voted manually in quite some time. In terms of getting these results in, looking back at previous elections that were voted on manually, what do you foresee in terms of the time it might take the Electoral Commission of Namibia to sort of get all those numbers in from all the polling stations?
Yes. I don't know. I'm unable to predict the days it will take. But from previous experience or from past elections, we do have a good record in counting the votes in a shortest time possible, most likely 2 days or 3 days. So I'm anticipating that probably because of that experience of past election of using manual voting process, that probably we have learned a lot from that experience, and that it will be employed to ensure that the votes are counted within short time possible.
Before we conclude with the regional sort of perception of what's happening in our country, I want to focus on the largest chunk of the electorate. That's the young people, the youth, making up 900,000 of the 1.4 million registered voters. What do you believe is driving young people to the polls this year in terms of perhaps some of the factors that have impacted them? What are the change they are looking for? What is the change they are looking for?
Well, there are a number of factors that are driving them to register, and also to, I hope that they will turn out in large number, because in terms of the registration figure, we have about 9,000 young people that have registered out of 1.4 million of the registered voters. So I think the main driving force for the young people is their economic and socio-economic situation, more in particular the unemployment. If you look at the unemployment figure, the youth unemployment is very, very high, almost over the national unemployment rate. So I think that in itself, they are asking themselves what has the 34 years of independence improved in terms of their economic and social situation. So that is one aspect. But I think they are also, they don't have that affinity to the liberation struggle, because many of them, they were born after independence. So they don't really attach loyalties to independence figures and to the liberation credentials. So they are thinking in terms of voting, are motivated by issues rather than loyalties and personality cult. So they are asking, how has independence improved my challenge, more in particular economic challenges?
And as we wrap up, 2024 has been called the year of elections. Many countries heading to the polls this year. India had one of the biggest elections. Here down south, Mozambique, also in Botswana, South Africa, there have been some major elections. And seeing the change that emanated from the voters in those particular countries, how would our election, what regional impact would it have in terms of should there be a new leader or a new party that comes into power? And how, secondly, how is SADC, how are they viewing our election? Because Namibia is generally peaceful. Thank you, Doctor.
Yes, you are right. Namibia has a very good record in terms of running peaceful and to some extent fair election and free. So in terms of your question, it will depend on the policies of that particular political party that will win, and its ideology and philosophy. So that will determine what kind of foreign policy will be engaged with other countries, whether at the global level or regional level in Africa or at the SADC level. So that definitely will be determined what kind of policies the new government will push. And that's how you form international relations with other countries. So more in particular, it is important that foreign policy or international relation policy must reflect your your values inside the country in terms of your governance, in terms of your constitution, in terms of your democratic values. So, and I think that is what will be the parameters to judge how the new, if there is a new government, how they will interact with the world.
All right, Dr. Ndumba Kamwania, any final remarks from your end as Namibians sort of slowly wrap up? We know the polling stations are closing at 9. What's a final message you'd like to share with the audience?
Well, I want to say that first of all, I am proud of my country in terms of running a peaceful election like what happened today. I was a proud man when I saw people from different background, young people, elderly, different ethnicities and racial groups. So I'm proud that people turned out more, in particular here in Windhoek, and I hope that the same phenomena will happen throughout the country. And I will urge those that are still haven't voted to make their way to the polling stations to cast their vote. It is your democratic duty. By not voting, you are actually voting as well because you are allowing another person to make decisions for you. So it is important that you go and make your voice heard in terms of the choice of your candidate and the choice of the political party that you want to vote. So those that are still out there, please get yourself ready and go vote before 9 o'clock.
Doctor, thank you so much for sharing your time with us on this magnanimous day, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, that was Dr. Ndumba Kamwania. He's a political analyst, and he was just explaining that by not voting, you're actually also voting by allowing others to choose for you. It's Election Overview on One Africa Television. We'll be with you until later on this evening, so stay tuned for the latest updates regarding today's election. Stay with us. We'll be back.